Raymond Michael Masters III. My name was changed. It used to be, well, starting from my grandfather, it used to be Raymond Michael Master Pietro. And they came over from Italy and they had it shortened to Master Peter, or not shortened, but Americanized to Master Peter, and then my dad had it shortened to Masters. Ta-da! Interesting! So, I'm an airbrush artist. Also, pizza delivery guy, because I gotta make the bills. I like to create art. I'm a huge video game nerd. It's a hobby that I wish at times I didn't have, because it seems to suck the very life, or not the very life, the very time out of your life. And this is just my cop-out answer on that, like, so I feel better about the fact that I play so much. It's kind of like in the sense of reading a book or watching a movie, an escapism. It's more immersive and interactive, so there's that whole end to it, and I like that. I like interaction. If I could read a book, like Choose Your Own Adventure books, and actually decide what's going on, I'd read more books. I should probably just start reading more Choose Your Own Adventures again. I'm from New Jersey. That's kind of... I know there's a lot of other people that are from New Jersey, but that's usually something that comes out and everybody's like, oh, how's that? Jersey, it's a nice place, but it's too fast-paced for me. So I like it more out here, more my style. No lie, this is like, did you ever see, what's that one Ben Stiller show where they're making fun of the fact that he's like the hardest working man in show business, and he goes to a bar and like plays all night, all of his songs, does like covers for everybody, and then mops up afterwards and pays the guy's tab. My cousin actually worked at, was it the Stone Pony, where he was, that's like one of his haunting grounds or whatever. And I guess he came in once and was just talking with the owner and chilling, and he actually helped my cousin clean out the walk-in cooler. He texted me, you know Chris, he was like, so Bruce Springsteen is helping me clean out the walk-in cooler right now? I'm like, what? Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Pretty much every genre I'm into, with the exception of like R&B. And when I say R&B, like even like old R&B is good, but a lot of the new stuff where it's just like, ooh, 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 yeah, 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 baby, baby. It's just somebody trying to like sleep with you, and they're doing it unconvincingly. Never really got into music until the whole alternative grunge revolution, so that at my core I still have like something inside me that weeps every time I hear Nirvana. I really started getting into jazz in the last few years. I always thought that was just like elevator music, and then a wonderful friend of mine turned me onto it and actually made me listen to it, and I was like, oh wow, cool, jazz is great. As far as particular bands, I'm sort of the mindset where most people have a favorite band, have a favorite movie, have a favorite this or that, but it's what you chose when you were a child and you kind of just stick with it. And if you really thought about it, it's kind of like saying I have a best friend still, an adult. If you really stop and think, you probably have more than a few best friends or more than a few favorite bands. So I'm not even gonna, I just got so many friends, bands, movies, whatever you want to say, favorites. But it almost seems not offensive to me, but inappropriate to say I like this particular friend better than the rest too. Maybe it's something like that I don't want to even think about because I don't want to hurt feelings or anything, but we were on the conversation the other day, I forget with who, I was like, no, I don't think I have to choose one. I can say I like so-and-so for these reasons and I like so-and-so for these reasons. Do you feel like listening to music or do you feel like watching a movie? I like both, you know? I want to do one when I want to do one, and I want to do the other when I want to do the other. Not that I want to do my friends, but... Well, next question. I just started playing the sax. Did I tell you about that? Ah, yeah, I bought myself a saxophone. A tenor. Oh, I'm loving it. I've always felt like I've had this musician in me, but I couldn't do anything but sing, but now I've got a sax, and I can play scales. I'm playing Night Train, sorta. I've wanted to play that since like middle school, right when everybody's picking out instruments for middle school band and whatnot. I wanted the saxophone, and my parents were like, well, we're going to start you with clarinet, and if you're serious about it, I guess because they have like similar fingering and whatnot, we'll get you onto the saxophone. I was like, I don't want to play the clarinet, so I'm just going to take drums instead. Because then you could just sit in the back with the other drummers and crash a cymbal every now and then. And it says here that you don't actually play the sax, and that in fact you play clarinet. That would be funny though if you're like, wrong. Next question. You're doing horribly, Ray. My dad's side of the family were very musical. They're like the Italian Von Trapps. Is that the name from The Sound of Music? My dad's dad had a band, the Ray Master Peter Orchestra or something like that. It was like a 5-piece. He played drums. My grandmother sang. I have like old memories of going and watching them play on stage. As a little kid, you're like not really dancing, you know, like the little kid dancing is where you're just like running in circles. Or maybe that was just me, I don't know. Did you ever do that? My dad plays guitar and harmonica. He had a rocking chair and he would just rock and play guitar, and I had like my little rocking chair, and I had a little harmonica as well that I couldn't play as a child. Like it was cool and making sounds. So, and I also have vivid memories of probably Thriller. That came out, my parents were, early 20s, I guess. I must have been, I don't know, just starting to walk and can talk, and I loved the album. Like my mom and me would dance to Michael Jackson, and we had this big oak wooden table, and again, I would dance around the table. Dance meaning just run around the table. Those are probably my earliest memories of music, which is probably why I haven't really played an instrument until this point, because all my memories of music just involve running. Is that metaphoric? Running from the instruments. Is it okay if I take my jacket off? Or would you prefer I keep it on? I'm just going to start taking off articles of clothing at random points. Really confuse everybody and screw up your editing process completely. Can they see below waist? If I said I didn't have pants on, they wouldn't be able to know. Back to the Future. That's my go-to, like we were saying before. I like animated films for sure. That was my major in college, so I got an interest in that, either traditional or computer. Those are always really cool. To think how far that technology can get to the point where it just looks real, and then you're like, well, what's the point, I suppose? We were talking about virtual reality the other day, and I was thinking our movie's going to get to that point where you have complete 360 degrees or more. All I remember is the Lawnmower Man, access denied. Because I said that so many times at the end, and I was just like, brainwashed. Usual Suspects. That's a great movie. Waking Life. It's basically about not sure if this is reality or if it's not, and the fact that they have this sort of animated over film look to it creates more of a like, ooh, is this fake, is this real? Because clearly animated, but it looks so real. Like obviously the movements and everything are based upon real life. It's a bunch of shorts from what I remember, so it's not following one person all throughout. Definitely a very cool movie. Anything to do with time travel, so fascinating to me, so incredibly interesting. Anything, comic books, video games, movies. If you want to talk about time travel, I can sit here and talk to you for like an hour about it. But it's probably not like the science of it. It's probably more like, yeah, I want to go back in time and eat a feast with King Arthur or something stupid. I don't want to do that, but just trying to think of a stupid example. In reality, it would suck, I'm sure. You'd go back and within like the first day or two, you'd have some horrible disease that like the strain is no longer exists now or something like that. And hygiene was really horrendous. So maybe go to the future, although I don't know if that's possible. Oh wait, neither of it is possible right now. My barriers of fantasy and reality are already breaking. I don't remember this, but I guess the first movie I saw was E.T. Barely remember the movie E.T. Like I'd probably seen it since then, but like just barely able to talk maybe, that age. I guess I cried at the end because it was so beautiful. So like this is coming from my mom, loves to tell the story. Like where he gets back with his family and I'm just like, I just started crying. I was like, that's so beautiful. I'm so happy for him. Yeah, I don't like Tom Cruise. I think he's just a cocky effer. I don't know, you're bleeping things out, or should I just go with whatever I'm gonna say? Maybe in real life he's not. He comes across that way. So there's one role though that he played which I thought was amazing, hilarious. You almost didn't know it was him at first, and so unlike any of the other characters. Tropic Thunder, have you ever seen it? Oh my god, that was brilliant. Yeah, I thought, good job, Tom. I was really happy with him in that movie. Beyond that, like, fuck you, Tom! I hope you're watching this! No, I don't really feel that strongly about him. It's just not my favorite actor. Wouldn't it be great if he was a fan of your channel and he's watching this and he's just like... Odds are very unlikely then. If you had some whiskey, you could probably pull out any accent you wanted. Now, whether or not it's good, I don't know, but... Yeah, green. Green is my favorite color, and I think for the fact that there's just us, I mean, there's millions of colors if you want to look at it one way, but really we categorize them to, well, 6, 7, 8, something like that. So when you have like a small select group, I think I have a better chance of saying, yeah, you know what? Green, but on the blue side, or, you know. And I've tried to understand why. It could be just that was my answer, that was always my answer, but I justify it in that I think green is full of life. When I see green, I think plant life. I guess you could think envy too, but I don't think that. I think it's just vibrance. Green, it's a color that just makes you feel healthy, think healthy. If I have kids, I'm gonna do that to them all the time. Think about that. Is that really what you want? Just have their room. Oh man, this would have to be a really elaborate setup. I'd have to get friends, first of all, that would make movies and music videos and songs and whatnot that would tell them that a color would mean something else. Or not tell them, but insinuate. But really screwing with your kid's head. But would it really mess with their head, or would it just give them an interesting perspective?